You can always add more to a painting, but you need to realize that the painting's already been done.
Like, at what day and moment was I just like, I'm not doing this anymore?
Right.
I wish I could go back and kick that son of a bitch in the dick.
Whatever somebody's going through, even the little things are things that progressively get bigger. There's ways around it. There's ways to go through it. There really is.
Everything has a consequence. Everything changes with every decision that you make.
This is Me versus Me. It's gonna be a little loud.
Nothing worse than the night after, or the morning after going to the bar, and you were just jamming on your way home from the bar. You were like, yeah, woo!
And it's still acting a little strange, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Nothing I can't deal with.
Everything's a little strange.
Everything's a little strange. So what's up, dude?
Oh, another day here in paradise.
Is this your second time?
Second time.
Second time. All right. Well, we started a fucking pretty good conversation that I wanted to keep going with. What day was that?
Monday.
Monday. That's not good.
No, my week's been kind of merged together. Being in between jobs is weird.
Mate, that's why I'm fucked up too, because I haven't been working.
Because you don't really have your schedule. You're just like,
Hey, that helps.
does that help?
Forgot I had a beanie on. Yeah. No, dude, I've been completely my days have just been fucking all blended together. So.
Yeah, I mean, I barely know the difference between the weekend until somebody says it's Friday. And I'm
Right.
just like, oh, okay.
I get the feeling I'm gonna kind of have the same reaction when I start work, because this is just 8 to 5.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so used to doing 5 to 5, dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like, so I get to go home now?
yeah. It's going to be really nice.
And the shop that I'm gonna be working in is it's fully closed, air conditioned
nice.
and shit. So I'm gonna be just spoiled as fuck, man. I feel like I'm gonna be in party mode for fucking quite a while.
Yeah.
Just living it up,
I feel the same way after leaving my last job and just everything kind of getting sour there to this new job's just a new opportunity. Just all right, let's just see where this goes for a little bit and see. Can't be any worse.
Yeah. It gets so fucking aggravating constantly trying to fucking make money at jobs you don't like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That when you start new shit and you see a different light, you're like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah.
You
And and the problem, especially in some industries, is they're like, well, we pay you, and it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean I want to put up with your shit. And they're
Right.
like, but we pay you good, and it's like, yeah, because I'm good at what I do, not because you should be able to just call me at any point in time, and I'm just here for you all the time. I
Right.
have to have a life outside of work, guys.
Yeah.
Work is great, but this is not everything.
It's so fucking it's so bizarre. Once you let that slip away, dude, having a life outside of work, once
Yeah.
you let that slip away, you just sink.
Yeah.
And that's such a bad place to be.
Such a bad place, and I feel bad for people that are stuck there, that are just
Yeah.
I'm doing good for the company, and I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen it so many times where I'm doing so much good for this company, so much good for the company, they're not really looking out for themselves, and then as good as you are, one day it's just one little thing, and they're like, and you're fired, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, but I was there for you all these times, and it's like, yeah, that's how it works, bro. They really don't care about you. Some small companies do,
Yeah.
but there are bigger companies that are just like, oh yeah, thanks for helping us out, thanks, and then
It's real disappointing to find out you're just another fucking number.
yeah,
Yeah, it's super disappointing. I get it. Yeah, especially
yeah.
after years. They're like, oh yeah, this should be simple, and they should take care of me when I go on to leave, and this and that, and then they're like, all right, fuck you.
oh dude, I've probably got one of the best stories for that. That's how I got out of the military. So when I was in 2013, 2014, I was getting back from Kuwait. And before I even got back from Kuwait, my unit had orders to go to Afghanistan. Like we knew we were going to be in Afghanistan again. It was just a matter of when are we getting home from Kuwait and when are we going to get to Afghanistan. Because they were like, in January, you'll be in Afghanistan. And then we were sitting there like, it's October and we're still in Kuwait. And they're like, don't worry, you'll be there. And we're just like, that's what I'm afraid of. Like,
Yeah, that sounds like shit.
but I came home, and this was during the Obama administration when they were downsizing the military, and they put 12 of me and it was 12 of us total, me and 11 of my peers in a room, and we're just like, hey, you can rotate and try to re-enlist, and that's what you do when you try to when you're in the military and you want. So you sign your first 4-year contract and you want to do another 4 years, you have to, it's like a job application. Not everybody gets accepted.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that difficult.
Yeah, it's not. And some people, they'll flat out tell them, no, you don't get accepted. Sometimes it's just a numbers game and you're just not high enough on the list. But yeah, I've seen people not get accepted, but I signed a piece of paper to go on my last deployment saying I would not re-enlist, which is just crazy. Like, they were like, if you deploy with this unit, you cannot re-enlist. And I was like, that's crazy. But I was the only one out of those 12 guys that signed to not re-enlist. Everyone else signed the paper, and they all rotated out of that unit.
Fuck. That's crazy. It's another thing I didn't fucking know about the military, dude. I thought if you just said yes and they were like, all right, you're still in.
Yeah, no,
Like, it was that simple.
For the military, it's always, there's a constant weeding out of the lowest, the worst possible chain link, basically. Like, you're always trying to thin the herd just a little bit.
Wow. The more you know.
Oh yeah, it's one of those crazy things. A lot of people just don't know stuff like that about the military.
Small shit, yeah.
And for some people, if you're good at your job, it is relatively easy. But like, there's some people that just aren't.
You talk to so many fucking people that are just like, oh yeah, I served, they're like career military personnel. Like, I served, 12 years and finally decided to retire. Like, there's so many people that make it just sound like it's standard to just continue on until you decide not to.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever spoken on the other half of that.
Yeah. Well, usually the kind of the thing is like once you do 10 and you're looking at re-enlisting again, that's when it's like shit or get off the pot time. Like, am I doing the full 20? Because that's what the goal is with the military, is to do your 20. Because if you do it right out of high school, 18, you retire at 38.
Yeah.
If you do the bare minimum, 38. And then you're getting a paycheck for the rest of your life. And you've got health care and everything for your family for the rest of your life. But at the same time, it's like any other job. You're just like, this was really good at first, but I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Does it? Or I mean, you didn't do it, so I guess you may not know, but do you think that it gets easier as time goes on to be a career military?
In a lot of ways it is. And in a lot of ways it's all mindset, and if it's something you want to do. It was very much something I wanted to do, but I didn't want to do it as much as I wanted to deploy with my friends.
So all the stuff that I think about, like, as a civilian who's never experienced military life, is like the first thing that comes to mind is if you're not married, then your family doesn't go with you. If you stay in the military, you obviously stay on bases and you continuously move around. Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can. I've seen it work different ways. Where I've seen guys, if their family is good enough, like they'll leave their wife with their family, and then they'll do all the moving, and then just travel back to see their family as much as possible because it saves so much money, and just live in like what we call geo-bachelor, which is a geographically you're a bachelor because you're living by yourself, but your wife is like back home or whatever. I think that's how it goes. But anyways, I've seen it, but you don't have to live on base. They pay you BAH, basic allowance for housing, so you can live off base. It's not, and there's usually
really?
yeah,
Okay.
because there's usually not enough houses to live on base.
Well, it's like because I drive by. The only example I have is Luke Air Force, and you can drive by some of the backside of that base and see, some of the housing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And every time I drive by it, I just can't. I can't help but wonder, like, what kind of lives they're living and what kind of lives they're leading. And
oh
you
man,
can see
I mean,
you can see play sets and kid shit in some of the houses. And
yeah. Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's super nice. It's like kind of cool. It's kind of like stepping back into the 50s in a lot of ways. Like you see kids running around,
yeah,
and they feel 100% safe
because they're on base.
because you're on base. Everybody that's there, like one kid goes missing for an hour, and they just say lock it down, and it's okay. We'll find your kid in the next like 10 hours, probably, if even that, because you're just like, we locked the whole base down. Everybody here is subjectable to searching and everything, every house. And
Nobody has freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it comes with its back and forth because on base, you're not allowed to have your own rifles and stuff at your house. So, you don't have as many guys that like that. So it's like, I'll just live out in town and be my own security.
It's so weird, man, to think about. And in a lot of ways, for guys like me, the way I grew up, kind of around military, and thinking like that was the way to be. That's what a man does.
Yeah.
Go off in the military, then you have your family that comes with you after a certain point. I, like you said last time we talked, I almost kind of romanticized the idea, and I feel like I missed a chapter in my life because I never fucking did that.
Yeah, and well, there's that and like guys like us, like some people give up security to feel more secure in a lot of ways. Like, oh, we have this great security and this guy's trained. It's like, that's cool. But if that dude jumps in your bedroom window, do you want to wait the 5 minutes for security or do you want to have your gun there?
Yeah.
And for guys like us, it's always like, I'd rather have my gun there.
Yeah.
Like, security's great, but I'd rather have my shit to protect myself than wait on somebody else.
I'll deal with it.
I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
And then there's the whole other story that you constantly hear about is fucking Jody and all that bullshit.
Oh yeah,
It's a real fucking.
Jody is a real fucking asshole in the military. So Jody's anybody that's sleeping with anybody's spouse while they're deployed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thing. Like, and we have a mutual friend that they kind of do their own thing. There's open relationships so much, and like contract relationships, and
Yeah.
so much of that goes back and forth. But it's crazy too because the military and they can actually charge you with with adultery in the military.
I know that. Yeah, like if you get caught, like if it's all happening in the military and on base and shit, then
you can get caught and tried for it. Like,
people can get really fucked over for that shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's all over sex too.
Oh, it's crazy. Like, I won't mention any names, but when I first joined the Navy, I had an opportunity to move with one of my friends. He was from Texas, and we had met in the Navy, and he was like, hey, me and my wife are getting a spot on base. We're getting our housing. And I lived on the ship at the time. He was like, hey, you should move in with us. And I was 18, or no, I was 20, 21, 22 at the time. And I was just like, man, newlyweds? Nah, pass. I don't always want to be the third wheel, just sitting there like, I mean, it's newlyweds. I get it, just don't want to be the third wheel to all that.
Yeah.
So I passed. He let some other dude move in.
Oh, no.
Other dude ended up sleeping with his wife. I'm just like, I should have done you the favor, bro.
Yeah.
And just moved in. Like,
That's my bad, dude.
that's my bad, bro. We could have skipped all this if I would have just moved in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's so many stories like that. Oh my God, all over base. I'm sure if you talk to any military person, they know some kind of cheating story, some kind of crazy.
Dude, it's so fucked up, but it's like it's a whole nother conversation to be had. But when you put males and females in close proximity for a certain amount of time, like shit is destined to go a certain direction.
Oh yeah.
It's just by human nature.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just like alcohol. Like only so many people can maintain their composure.
Yeah.
For an extended amount of time,
Yeah.
and it's like it just eventually seeps through.
Yeah, it's
Like we had something like that happen while we were in Kuwait. We were having meetings every Friday. Hey, you gotta stop flirting with all the girls with the air wing. Dude, none of us were talking to any of those girls. None of us thought they were cute at all. Turns out it was one of the officers and a staff sergeant and a few of the other officers from the air wing all having a relationship with the same girl.
oh my god.
And it only came out because one of them got butthurt because she got orders to move on, basically. And she moved on, and he was like, oh, there goes the love of my life. So he tried to, I think she was married or something, so he tried to, like, you know, bring a trap down on her, and then she just brought the whole thing down on all of them. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And then it all made sense that we were just like, why are we having these meetings?
Yeah, nobody's.
And we're
who's
like,
fucking up?
we're actively avoiding these people. We want nothing to do with them. So yeah,
Fucking dicks. Man.
you just, if you put guys and girls in the same room, it's just it's a matter of when.
It's human nature, man.
Yeah.
You know, it almost. I'm gonna say not always, but almost always gets the best of everybody.
Oh yeah. I mean, love wills out.
It just really does.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and sometimes it's not even that. It's just human nature. It's just like, it's weird. I think one of my favorite things is about Marines is like if you put a Marine in a sealed padded room with a ball bearing, there's only 3 inevitable things that will happen. A, he will lose it somehow in a sealed room. B, he will break it, or C, he will get it pregnant. And that's just every Marine knows that. Like it's, I don't know how nobody knows how any of those 3 could happen, but it would happen.
doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
They will figure it out. If there's a will, there's a way. It will just craziness.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know where it took off on a side tangent there.
Oh yeah.
But one of the things that we were talking about the other day that I wanted to revisit was we got on the conversation of there's no real protocol for military being reintroduced into the real world.
Yeah.
And kind of the effects that's having on
veterans getting out. Yeah.
and and the more and more you were talking about how there is no research going on. There's nothing being done actively, and I can't speak for all parties, but as far as we know, there's nothing being done. That's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Well, in some ways I've worked on it. Like for me, as a corpsman, when I got out, there was no civilian equivalent to my job. Is basically what they said. And then guys that are Army medics that have lesser training than I had were getting out, and they had EMT basic national certification. So they are somewhat working on it, but it's still just such a back and forth thing. And then it's just so much easier to say we're doing working on it than actually do something about it.
What was the you quoted something about you'd rather just like glorify?
Economically, the greatest thing America ever did was to learn how to worship veterans than take care of them.
That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up.
Because there's so many there's like a few companies I've heard of where they say, and I don't want to say any of the names because we don't, but like they just they say they're benefiting and people donate, and then like the people they say they're helping, like I have buddies that like legit need, you know, help here and there, like a ramp to get in because they're handicapped now.
Yeah.
Like, no, but we got you this sweet bag, and it's like, I don't need a sweet bag or a T-shirt, bro. I need like
You need
just
a
a
fucking
little bit.
ramp.
I need some help getting a ramp. I need, at least give me a number for a guy I can call to get a ramp. But like, well, any job you leave now, you meet people and people that you can reference. And then once you leave the military, you have a few of those guys, but they're not anywhere nearby, and they're not. People don't go, oh, I just talked to your sergeant, and he was such a great reference for this job that has nothing pertaining to what you were doing in the military anymore. So they're just like, yeah, here you go.
So my other thought I was thinking about while you were talking was what I ended with was it's not going to get any better, which obviously it's not. But when I said that, I didn't think about the difference between how war is changing and how military is changing. I can't speak factually, but generally speaking, war is not as hands-on as it used to be. Is that correct?
In some ways, it's not. Like, you can send drones and missiles and everything, and that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, like, there will always be a place. If you're gonna win the war, you have to have soldiers. Like, you can have everything else, but you have to have somebody that can soldier.
I've heard stories, even about guys that man the drones and man the unpiloted ships and stuff like that. About those guys like freezing up on the spot behind their screen.
Oh yeah, there was a movie about it.
Okay, so maybe I did a little bit of digging on that one, but it's still possible, and everybody has their breaking point. And I can kind of see where, if you're staring at a screen and you fucking touch a button and you blow up a building, where that would maybe put somebody through shock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fucking extravagant,
Yeah.
It's not a video game. I just blew up a building.
Yeah, you kind of know, like, there's things into that, like, you're surveilling a building, you kind of know what's in the building,
Right.
You're not, even if you are kind of dumb, you still kind of know what's in that building because you've been surveilling it, so you're just like, there's 5 dudes in that building, like, and at the same time, like, you're still also not in any real danger at the time, and a lot of those guys can walk away just like, I was just doing what I was told to do, and but at the same time, it is hard for some people to separate that. Like, it's like, I think there was some quote somewhere that said, like, for every 100 volunteers to get into the military, only 20 of those guys are like the real warriors that you can drop a body and just, like, you can justify that. Like, if I didn't do that, it would have been one of us, so I can go right back to sleep tonight and it's fine. And there's people that get through that process and they can't. And it's just and I'm not saying anything against those people, it's just that some people aren't built like that. And
No. You have to be wired a certain way.
Yeah,
and that's a fact.
it's definitely though.
Going back to the idea of just pressing a button, it's a crazy comparison to think about having that job and having a job that was, I'm just going to keep saying, more hands-on before all the technology hit,
Yeah.
I don't want to say nom because that's a little outdated, but nothing against anything they did. That was the most brutal fucking thing that could have happened. But the hands-on thing, at least you're killing your enemy on the spot. You know what you're killing. If you're the guy behind the computer and you take out a building, like you said, you know what's in there. There's a good chance you're probably taking a family with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but at the same time, if you're on the ground, then you find out. Then you learn this. That, like, it was one of my favorite radio stars growing up, Paul Harvey. You find out the rest of the story. So
okay,
like,
so it gets deeper.
so
from there.
usually the guy you shot was somebody, or not necessarily you, but the guy your squad shot wasn't even necessarily Taliban 100% of the time. That was just homeboy that they picked his son up and they said, if you don't do this, we're going to kill your firstborn son. And so he does his best. He pops a few shots and goes to run expecting to get out of there, and you clipped him. And now you're just like, bro.
I was gonna tell you, if you want this mic to come out more, the elbow back here is folded all the way up. You can pull it towards you.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Get a little
Oh,
more.
yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fucking crazy too, because that goes into politics that I probably have no fucking idea about.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy because, like, it's kind of like if you've seen The Patriot, like, everybody, you go over there with this hatred for these people, thinking they're all the worst people, and then you meet a lot of these guys, and they generally just don't want you there because, like, the same reason you wouldn't want somebody, you know, you don't want cops in front of your house 24/7. You're like, bro, we got it, leave. Like, this is our house, we got this, we'll take care of this. And a lot of them, you kind of, it's weird, you start to understand their point of view. You're like, no, they're not even Taliban. Some of them aren't even Taliban. They're just like, listen, bro, you're American, we get it, that's cool, but I don't want you here, bro. I want to take care of my problems myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Don't need you.
yeah, but at the same time, when you're like, well, stop having your problems in my fucking country, bro. Like, your problems are getting over here. Take care of this, bro.
Shit. There's so much, man. So many, like, those politics, they just, like, they could ruin my brain if I let them.
Oh,
trying
dude.
to figure shit out.
It's, yeah, you really could. It's so hard over there. Like, I've always wondered, and that's something me and a few of my veteran buddies talk about, is like what it would be like to actually be in like World War II, where the lines are drawn. Like, this dude is
Physically drawn.
yeah, like everybody knows who's a bad dude and they're a bad dude because this is their cause. And then you get to like Vietnam and starting in Afghanistan, where it's just like everybody could be the enemy. It could be anybody. We don't know why he's motivated to do this. Could be like some dude paid him to do it. Could be he just doesn't like us.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
I was watching the other day one of my favorite World War II movies, and this is probably kind of cliche, but I love that movie Fury, the tank movie.
That movie is, dude.
It's not. I don't love it because it's about World War II or because of Brad Pitt, but I love it because of fucking perspective that you get. Like, that's not an insight that a lot of movies give you.
Dude, yeah, that movie, yeah, I took my dad to see that movie on Veterans Day for free one time.
How do you
yeah.
like it?
Oh, he loved it, dude.
Yeah.
That's, the guy that is supposedly portrayed in that movie is one of my dad's all-time biggest heroes, dude. And
That's based on a true story?
based on a true story.
I mean, I should have guessed, but
Like,
goddamn.
Yeah, based on a true story. The
Holy
guy's
shit.
name is, if you want to look him up, is Audie Murphy.
Audie Murphy?
Yeah, dude, guy was like 5'4". Like one of the smallest guys, dude. It's an insane story. Next time I see you, I'll bring by on Sunday. I got my FMF book, bro, and the stories that some of the heroes have done, it's just insane.
Yeah.
You're just like, a human being did this.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, yeah, bro.
I have to say, they got their message across at the very end, when that kid was under the tank just trying to survive. It's exactly the message that they wanted, but when the one soldier looks under, points a flashlight at him, and like you just see human for a second, human on human interaction, and he fucking thinks about it, and he just lets the kid live, and he just walks away.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, like that's another perspective you don't think about any soldier having. Like, how often does shit like that, how often do you have to fight that inside?
It's weird because it's just like sometimes you wonder if you would hesitate, and then there's sometimes like, oh man, I'm a big dog lover. In Afghanistan, there was this dog we used to walk by every day, and he would be at the end of his like chain, foaming at the mouth, ready to get us.
Yeah.
And one night that dog got loose, and
Shit.
I love dogs, but without a second's hesitation, he went for my ankle, and I dropped him right there.
Shit.
I never even processed it until they were just like, did you shoot the dog?
You fucking knocked that dog
I
off.
was like, dude, it's pitch black outside. It came at me. And they were like, okay, fair enough. And I was like, we're going to keep moving.
Holy shit, dude.
But yeah, like, some things they do a really good job of making sure you don't think about it as much, which is what ends up fucking up a lot of guys in the end, is because you do it so quick. You read and react to a situation so quick, and then you're like, oh, I just shot that dude.
I actually saw a video about this the other day, and I'm not gonna get into details on what it was, but basically the moral of the video is that action is always gonna be faster than reaction.
Oh yeah.
So when you're trained that way, you're always trained to take action.
Oh yeah.
Before
Our motto before our third deployment was, if you hesitate, you die.
right, that's exactly it.
If you even think for a second, what if this guy's, if he's going for his gun, like, what if this guy's a good guy? No. If you got to be the guy that has to load your gun before you get it out, after you get it out of the holster, you're done. They say football is a game of inches. Like, a gunfight is a game of seconds and fire
Milliseconds.
superiority. Like, that's why in a Marine, when you're moving with the unit, that they contact left, contact right, so that like instantly everybody is boom right over there, because fire superiority wins every gunfight ever. If you're putting high, well aimed shots in a small target zone, you're winning. You're winning, because you're just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. This guy's fucking good. Like, it's, you know.
I have to ask. It's completely off topic. Well, it's not completely off topic, but have you ever been in some kind of a scenario where your amount of ammo was a factor?
No, not for me. I used to carry like 160 rounds.
Okay,
So like,
you were stacked.
I was stacked. Usually for machine gunners, that's where we started to spread load, because you get like 100 rounds on a clip or something. They spread load, but those guys get to carry a little bit more. But at the same time, I've had the opposite of that problem, which is a weird scenario. Like, my third deployment, we got dropped off in the middle of the night and just sent to a compound to watch and see what unfolded. And then we got out like 3 days later, and we got into a firefight for about 4 or 5 hours, I don't know, somewhere in that, where we were up on a hill, and I was with snipers and a guy with a 240 machine gun, and I had my little M4, and they were coming to pick us up, but we got into this firefight 4 or 5 hours, and we did a gun run, which is a AA-10 Warthog, came through, did the gun run, fucked everything up. We were getting ready to leave. We get back to base. Lieutenant's like, how many rounds did you shoot, Doc? None. We were shooting for 4 hours. Yes, sir. I was at the top of that hill, and my effective range, no, sir.
Not with an M4.
He was like, what do you mean? I was like, sir, I was like sitting out there with a slingshot and just going, pew. I got 5 snipers right here. I got a guy with a 240, which is a 7.62. And I mean, dude, I was like, oh, yeah, I was the guy that shot him. It was me. No, yeah, I was like, no, sir, I'm a medic. Like, no, sir, I'm just sitting there chilling. Like, and they're like, what? You didn't do nothing else? I was like, it's a waiting game for me. Like, I'm waiting for somebody to get hurt, which I don't want, obviously.
Right.
But that's what I'm waiting for. And all those guys, that's what they're for. I love the Marines. That's what they're there for.
That's crazy, man.
They're fucking amazing at what they do.
You get your
That's
ass cheeks
why
for
I
not
could
fucking
just sit in
firing.
there. Oh, he wasn't mad about it. It was just like,
No,
oh.
but yeah.
Oh, it's funny. It's just like, you didn't shoot a single shot? Like, no, sir. No. Why bother? So I have to clean my gun? I don't want that, sir. My gun's clean right now. We're good to go. I don't want to have to clean this.
Well, we've spent we started this talking about jobs and shit and settling into that. And I just realized that one of the things that I've never asked you, even as many times as you've talked about being a medic, which still kind of surprises me, by the way, just because I'm still getting to know you,
Yeah.
and the thought of you being a medic is, I don't know. I could see it, I guess, but
It's crazy because to hear you say that, because I have a group of guys that I know that's all they know.
that's
me
all they
for.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like that's my cup of tea. Like
But-
that's it.
So now I have to ask you the obvious questions that you've heard a million times. Like, let's hear something that stuck with you, something that you got stuck to, a medic situation.
There's been some rough ones. There's been man. So I've been lucky enough. First deployment, we brought everybody home.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty amazing.
But also, I lost my mentor who was in 1-6. He got clipped in the neck. 5 feet outside of base.
5 feet outside of base.
Yeah, like hitting the jugular, he was gone in 90 seconds. Couldn't save.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop it. Like that's the luck of the draw kind of thing when it comes to war. So like, craziest story I have that everybody would know would be the mortar blast in Hawthorne. It was just something that doesn't happen, and we were out in the middle of the night and a mortar exploded about 3/4 of the way through a tube. Sent shrapnel everywhere. 15 Marines went down. We saved 8 of them. 4 of them died instantly. All of them friends. All of them. I still talk to the 8 that survived off and on. My buddy Miles is blowing up my fucking group chat right now. It's weird when you have a friend that introduces you as the person that saved their life.
Yeah.
Like, unquestionably. Like,
Yeah.
this is a dude saved my life that night. And he's got the scars to prove it. Crazy. But yeah.
Well, the fact that you just referenced to what's on your neck, is that what it is?
No, not mine. My
Okay.
friend Miles.
Don't you have a fat mark on your neck?
Yeah, I got a pretty fat mark on my neck.
Yeah.
But Miles, he's got a scar that just cuts across here. And dude, it's probably because the psychology that goes into trauma and stuff, you can't let somebody look at their wound. I bet you'll get this as a parent. Like, if you keep your kid from looking at it, it's not so bad. But the second they look at it, it's like, oh shit. You know, like,
I can vouch for that one.
and he's got this massive gash across his neck. And honestly, what it was, I don't know how this happened, but I told Miles this even then. Like, it was like the whole flap of his skin was just flapped back, and I could see his jugular. Like, I could see it. It was not cut or anything, but I could see it. Like, to the point I could almost put my finger on it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, but you just put the flat back and just set it down. But nobody wanted to look at it because of where it was and that there was blood there. Because, anytime you cut skin, paper cut, anything, there's blood.
Yeah.
But it was such a clean cut, and it was just a flap of skin. Nobody wanted to look at it. So I come over there, and I was like, oh my God, Miles. He was like, what? I was like, it's going to be the sickest fucking scar, bro. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, you're fine. Like, you're going to walk away from this one, bro. And he was like, are you sure? And I'm like, bro, you're not bleeding up here.
How could you say that in confidence? Like,
well, because that wound wasn't the wound that he was bleeding from. He ended up losing like 3/4 of his left arm.
oh shit.
Like almost all of his tricep was gone. But like that's another funny part was because Marines always ask what would be the worst thing, and I always unanimously said any wound that gets packed when they take that shit out. Because the idea is that your flesh will start growing onto it, so that you are making your skin grow back out. So you re-rip that flesh open every time you pull that packing out. So it's the worst. So when I told Miles I gotta pack this wound, he starts screaming, Doc, no, don't do it, don't do it. So loud and so much that like I was like, Miles. He's like, what? It's like, I'm done. He was like, we're good? I was like, yeah, you're good. You're gonna be fine. Like, you know, he made it to the hospital. Like, I stuck an IV in his arm at 11:30 at night in the middle of nowhere with the rain. So yeah.
God damn. That's fucking wild. What? I have so many different degrees of how I want to ask these questions. I just don't know.
In a weird way, trauma in the human body is a lot like a car motor. Like, once you learn how it all ebbs and flows a little bit, it's incredibly simplistic. I don't know how.
You know what's fucked up is being a mechanic. As long as I have been, that's probably the 4th time I've heard that in my life.
Yeah.
I've heard one doctor, one medically. I don't even know. Somebody that knows the human body has told me that it's a lot like being just a mechanic for the body.
Yeah, it really is.
So
You're just diagnosing a problem, and
Right.
then you're trying to fix that problem.
It's such a crazy way to look at it.
And then sometimes, like, it's just like a car. It's like, you're like, what is the problem here? And you're like sitting over here focused on this, and then with the whole time you're like, oh, it was this over here.
Son of a bitch. There's a whole nother thing
Damn
over
it.
here.
Yeah, stuff like that.
How accurate would you say most movies are?
Depends on the movie. Some of them are so wildly accurate.
Because I'm seeing like shit from like Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
Like you see
good.
limbs, like you see the flesh torn and shit,
Oh yeah.
and that kind of
It's
shit. That
just-
shit's
oh,
all.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. The randomness of battle. Like, dude, I've seen a guy take a bullet, get shot, and it hits his femur.
Mhm.
It comes out upper abdominal area. Like, it could be just be anything. Only in the movies is it just like, oh, it's sweet ass through and through, bro. It's never just like all that simple.
That shit always seems to fucking surprise me.
Yeah, it's kind of like a crapshoot. Like, once that bullet hits, it's supposed to die anyways, and then if it hits anything inside the body or hits anything before that, or like guys are wearing body armor so it refracts off, or anything like that, and it just changes trajectory.
That's something crazy to think about, dude. A bullet goes in your side, bounces off your back plate, fucking goes back in, and decides to
Yeah.
do more.
Yeah.
What? That's real.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
I know a guy that he used to have a stuttering problem. Everybody knows this guy if they hear this story. But yeah, he had a stuttering problem, and dude, we thought he got shot in the head. Bullet went in to his helmet, what we call the brain pan, bounced around in there, I don't know how, and went out a few times. But the impact was enough to knock his ass out, right?
Right.
Like, so we're thinking this dude just took one to the dome.
He's done.
Because he's down. He don't stutter no more.
No shit.
He got back up. He don't.
How long after?
I wasn't there, but like the guys were like, he's like a couple minutes later he started getting back up. Like, they were taking contact, and then they were just like, oh shit, he's moving, he's getting up. Like, oh shit, he's not dead, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, I was there. My buddy Trey, I thought he got clipped first time we took contact, because when bullets go over your head or really close to you, there's a distinct whipping sound, or like a crack.
Yeah.
You can hear that super fast bullet cracking by your ears, and it's if you hear it, you hear it. You can't unhear it, and you know it every time you hear it.
Unfortunately, I've heard that ricochet twice
And
in my
then,
life.
Like, my buddy Trey hit the ground so hard and so fast, and we're walking through dirt that like a dirt cloud came up, and I'm just like, and I mean, I'm getting down too, but not like he like did, like, you know, like burpee status in football. Just like, I was just like, oh shit. I was like, Trey, respond to me. Were you okay? Like, say something, bro. He was like, yeah, doc, I'm all right. And I'm just like,
God damn it.
God damn it, bro. I was like, did you get hit? He's like, no. Scared the shit out of me, though. And I'm like, okay. But I thought you got clipped, bro. I was about to shit my pants.
Because he dropped straight.
Yeah, because you're right in front of me. I was just like, they just clipped the dude right in front of me. Here I am, the medic. I think this is like my 3rd patrol into Afghanistan. I'm like, oh shit.
Is it your priority to make sure that you stay a little safer because of what your job is?
Well, so for some guys it was their priority. I was probably the opposite. Because
But that was
you
never
are-
something you were trained for.
well, it's kind of an attitude some guys take on. Like, there's some of us corpsmen that take on, like, you don't want to be the weakest link in the Marine unit.
Right.
So if you can fire a gun better, you learn how to fire a gun better. And they show you, and they teach you how to do things. And you either decide to not absorb that knowledge. And like I know good medics that weren't great in combat. And I know bad medics that were great in combat, and vice versa, and every which way. But I'd like to think I was a really good medic and really good at combat, because I love to pay attention to my Marines and shit. In fact, one of my favorite compliments I've ever been given was by a Marine captain, and he said, if you weren't such a great fucking corpsman, you'd be one hell of a Marine. And
Yeah.
I was, dude, I fucking could live off that shit all day, every day, dude. Like, because I have a high amount of respect for the infantry Marines, because they were given a lot of shit. Like, people say that they're not smart, but most of the guys I met in the infantry were like, they're not bullet sponges, bro. They are some of the most high IQ guys that I still talk to this day. Like, sometimes the reason I don't talk to those guys is because the standard and the bar is set so high. Like,
For infantry.
it's just
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
that, and just like even today, like my buddy, I've got a few buddies that are out there like running marathons and shit. And they're our age, and it's just like, yeah, I train dogs on the side. I'm a cop, and I run marathons. It's like, I work HVAC,
Yeah,
and
I can fix your AC, man.
I'm having a good weekend if I don't get fucking wasted on Saturday night. And
Shit.
hungover all day Sunday. Stuff like that, basic human stuff.
Basic human stuff. Shit. Well, it's getting down to that time. You got stuff to do tonight. I'm glad you came back to tell us a little bit more. Your
Yeah.
outlook, dude. The more and more I get to talk to you, the more and more I want to hear more of your outlook. I know that's cheesy, but
No, you're good. And I've got some buddies that want to come. I got a sergeant buddy that lives not far. He said he'd try it out.
yeah.
Yeah, he said he'd come do the podcast. It's good, dude. Just to talk it out some, hash it out a little bit.
If you have any guys that want to, dude, I'd fucking be more than welcome to. They're more than welcome here all day, every day.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. The more and more I get to know you, man, the more and more I'm thankful that I get to be your buddy. So, thank you for that too. Thank you for coming on, and your perspectives are worth more than us regular people. But do you have anything you want to throw out before we close up?
Nah, I'm good. I think that was good.
That was a good one, man. I appreciate you, and if anybody ever has questions for Doc, feel free to reach out. I can relay them to him. I'm sure we'll hear from him again soon. Just make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. That way, every time he is on, you do get that notification directly from Spotify. And you'll see us again soon. Peace out.